Welcome to Roll Credits, where movie lovers get the trivia they didn't know they needed. Just a heads up, this podcast was created with help from AI tools, so maybe double-check any quotes before you drop trivia at your next movie night.
Definitely good advice.
Today, we're diving deep into The Bear Season 1. And get this, did you know Jeremy Allen White actually trained in, Michelin-level kitchens just to get Carmy's knife work right?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And that's just scratching the surface, really.
So let's get into it. What's the overall mission here?
Well, our deep dive today is really looking at how The Bear Season 1 nailed that raw, intense, and, deeply emotional vibe of working in a real kitchen. The main goal from the start, massive respect for the craft, for restaurants, authenticity was everything.
You really feel it. Okay, so for anyone who maybe hasn't jumped in yet, give us the quick spoiler-light version of Season 1.
Right. So it centers on Carmy Berzatto. He's this brilliant chef from the world of fine dining, super high-end places.
Michelin stars and all that.
Yeah. Exactly. But then tragedy strikes, and he has to come back home to Chicago.
And he inherits the family business.
Yeah, the original beef of Chicagoland, or just the beef. It's this iconic but totally chaotic Italian beef sandwich shop. The season is basically him trying to bring his fine dining discipline, his systems, to this, beloved but completely unruly place.
Yeah.
While dealing with grief, debt, and a pretty resistant crew.
It sounds stressful just describing it.
Oh, it is. And that feeling, that stress, it feels so real because the actors, they really went all in. It wasn't just learning lines.
Yeah. Tell us about that, the culinary immersion part.
Okay, so Jeremy Allen White, Carmy, right?
Right.
He did this intense 2-week crash course, Institute of Culinary Education out in Pasadena.
Wow.
He actually called it a rude awakening, which, you can imagine. And beyond the school, he spent real time shadowing chefs in actual Michelin-level kitchens.
That must have been eye-opening.
Totally. He said it gave him this huge respect for all restaurants. He called them miracles, just the sheer difficulty of opening one, keeping it running. Yeah. And you can kind of feel that weight in his performance, that understanding of what's at stake.
It definitely makes you appreciate your local spots more, right? And Ayo Edebiri, who plays Sydney, she was in on this too.
Mm-hmm. She trained right alongside Jeremy, came away saying she had so much respect and awe for the industry, called it tough, physically and mentally taxing, which it absolutely is.
And Lionel Boyce, Marcus, the pastry guy.
Oh, yeah. Lionel fully committed. He actually went to Copenhagen, trained at Hart Bajuri, this amazing bakery, to really learn the pastry side.
No way, Copenhagen. That's dedication.
Right. And there's this great story Jeremy Allen White told. Lionel sent him a picture of these, perfect-looking chocolate donuts, super dark, glossy.
Okay.
And then Lionel texts him yeah, I forgot about them in the fryer for 10 minutes. They're totally burnt.
Uh-huh. That's amazing.
But those moments, those failures, they actually helped the cast bond, shared struggle.
Totally. Makes sense. And that commitment to reality, it carried on to the set itself, didn't it? The kitchen wasn't just props.
Not at all. They used real food.
Yeah.
The kitchen was, fully functional. Working gas lines, water, heat, fire suppression, the works.
Seriously? That's wild.
Yeah, Courtney Storr, she's the creator, Chris Storr's sister, and the culinary producer, she made sure of it. It had to feel completely real.
That attention to detail is just wow.
And Abby Elliott, who plays Natalie, Carmy's sister, she mentioned a scene where her character makes chicken piccata. Courtney had actually cooked it for the scene.
Okay.
Abby said it was literally the best thing she'd ever eaten. And she was pregnant at the time. Apparently, it became a major craving for her.
That's hilarious. And a great testament to the food actually being good.
Exactly. It wasn't just set dressing.
So this authenticity, it starts way back, right, with the show's whole concept.
Mm-hmm. Deeply inspired by the real Chicago food scene. The dedication, the grind of restaurant workers there. Yeah. And a huge specific influence was Mr. Beef on Orleans, this legendary sandwich shop in Chicago.
Ah, the real Mr. Beef.
The very one. And get this, the show's creator, Christopher Storr, he's known the owner, Chris Zucchero since they were kids. Kindergarten.
That's incredible. So it's personal.
Very. And Zucchero even makes a little cameo in the pilot. He plays the butcher Carmy buys meat from.
Oh, I gotta look for that next time.
You should. Though, funny enough, Zucchero apparently doesn't really watch the show. Says he's too busy running the actual shop and doesn't want to be, the bear guy.
That's perfectly Chicago somehow. So real chefs were involved beyond just, inspiration.
Oh, yeah. They brought actual chefs into the writers' rooms to share stories, experiences, the nitty-gritty details. And that wasn't just about getting the lingo right. It helped the writers ground the characters, explore these bigger themes, about running a small business, family pressure. It added that emotional truth.
Makes sense. And the look of the show, the set design.
Also very intentional, kind of minimalist, but with these subtle fine dining touches mixed in, like exposed beams, but also specific plates, Giorno Pandolfi ones, apparently favored by Michelin chefs.
Yeah. Right, hinting at Carmy's background and ambitions.
Exactly. And they looked at real Chicago restaurants for inspiration for the lighting, the bare tabletops, trying to capture that specific lived-in feel.
And then there's Matty Matheson. Huge personality, celebrity chef. How did he get involved?
So Matty came on board initially as a co-producer and culinary consultant, bringing his expertise.
But then he ended up on screen as Feck.
Right. He was basically teaching the cast how chefs move, how they talk in a kitchen environment, building their confidence. He really stressed movement with purpose. Every step, every action has to be efficient.
You see that in the show, that sort of kitchen ballet.
Totally. And Matty insisted the fridges, the low boys, they had to have actual mise en place.
Actual prepped ingredients.
Yeah, like chopped onions, portioned meat, everything ready to go based on the menu. So the actors could literally grab stuff and make a salad or a sandwich if they wanted to.
That's commitment.
Courtney Storer oversaw all that. Made sure it felt like a working kitchen, not just a set.
So did real chefs buy it? Did it feel authentic to them?
Largely, yes. Many chefs praised the show's accuracy, especially the pressure cooker atmosphere, the camaraderie, the chaos. Though some did point out maybe Carmy wanting to change the menu every single day. A bit impractical if you're actually chasing Michelin stars. Consistency is key for that.
Right, a little dramatic license there. Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the feel of the show, the pacing, the editing. It's so distinctive.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Joanna Nagel, the editor, she also worked on Raimi, another great show. She got an Emmy nomination for The Bear. She really crafted that unique, often breakneck speed.
How did she develop that style?
Well, her background is interesting. She did a lot of music-driven online videos, animated stuff too. So she was already really good at using sound and rhythm as like narrative tools. Perfect prep for the intensity of The Bear.
You feel that right from the pilot system. It just throws you in.
Yeah, and apparently the pilot was originally a bit calmer, less manic at the start. They actually created that opening montage later to condense things and just bam, immerse the audience immediately. Almost like an assault on the senses, they said. Though they tweaked it so it wasn't too overwhelming.
It works. It puts you right there on the line with them.
Exactly. The goal is to make you feel that kitchen pressure, even if you've never worked in one. It connects to universal feelings, right? Hitting deadlines, managing difficult people, working under stress.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how they don't hold your hand with the kitchen jargon.
Right. No explanations. You just figure out corner, hands, yes, chef, from context, like you're a fly on the wall.
It trusts the audience. It's smart.
Okay, now for maybe the most talked about technical feat of season 1, episode 7, review.
Oh man, the single take episode, incredible.
18 minutes, one continuous shot. And it wasn't just a stunt, it was a deliberate narrative choice to reflect the mounting chaos and pressure.
They rewrote the script for it.
Yeah, to make it work logistically as a one take.
Yeah.
They shot it 5 times apparently.
Yeah.
Used the second take in the end.
Wow. And the sound design in that episode.
Crucial. Joanna Nagel focused heavily on it since there were no cuts to rely on. You hear the L train rattling past, construction noise, alarms going off, pots crashing. It all builds this incredible tension, like a ticking time bomb, without needing a single edit.
You really feel your own heart rate going up watching it. But the show isn't all chaos, is it?
No, and that's key. They deliberately use slower, quieter moments. It creates contrast, lets the audience and the characters catch their breath.
Like Carmy's monologue in the finale.
Exactly. Or that really beautiful, calm conversation between Marcus and Luca in season 2, the Honeydew episode. That dynamic range is part of what makes it so compelling.
It really is. Okay, beyond the kitchen mechanics, let's talk about the people, the characters, the relationship.
Absolutely, because that's the real heart of it, right? The cast chemistry is phenomenal.
You can feel it. Is it true they called each other chef on set?
Apparently so. Just to kind of keep that kitchen camaraderie going, that level of respect and intensity.
That's a great detail. And Joanna Nagel, the editor, she talked about something specific she looks for.
Yeah, she highlighted the importance of reaction shots. Not just focusing on who's talking, but how the others are reacting.
Those little looks.
Exactly, the micro expressions, she called them. A tiny quiver of the lip, a glance, A shift in eye contact. It tells you so much about their history, their unspoken feelings. She often cuts away from the speaker to show the listener.
That's brilliant. Any specific examples stand out?
Oh, definitely. Think about Tina, Liza Collins-Zayas, right? In season 1, when Sydney compliments her potatoes, Tina gets this slow, almost reluctant, but incredibly infectious smile.
Yes, I remember that.
It's like this tiny crack in her tough armor. Says so much about her warming up, starting to trust. Or John Bernthal as Mikey. That final look he gives in the season 1 finale flashback, timed perfectly to Radiohead's Let Down. They cut it right at the peak of his smile. It just hangs there, haunting.
Chills. Seriously powerful stuff. So how much room was there for things like that? Improvisation?
It's mostly scripted, very tightly written, but there's room for what they call collaboration. Actors can bring ideas, or there's sometimes pre-approved improv.
Like the table flip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mikey flipping the table in the Fishes episode, that big, chaotic Christmas flashback in season 2, that wasn't scripted. John Bernthal had permission to go for it if it felt right, and wow, did it add something visceral.
Yeah, it really did. Any other behind-the-scenes secrets? Things that almost happened differently?
Well, okay, in the pilot, originally there was a scene where Carmy just completely loses it, like throws a pot, yells at everyone, full meltdown.
Oh, wow.
But they cut it.
Yeah.
Smart move, probably. Let his neurotic energy and the trauma build more slowly, make it more of a gradual reveal.
Right, earn that eventual explosion.
Yeah. Also, Sydney. Ayo Dabiri's character. She wasn't originally in the pilot. She was supposed to come in around episode 3.
Really, she feels so essential from the start.
I know. They wisely decided to write her into the pilot. Huge difference to that initial dynamic with Carmy.
Definitely. Okay, trivia time. Carmy's tattoos. Real or?
Well, Jeremy Allen White worked with a real tattoo artist, Ben Shields, to design them, including the 773, the Chicago area code. White apparently called that one a very safe first thing to get.
That's funny. And what about actual kitchen skills? What was the hardest thing for the actors to learn? Was it the knife work?
You'd think so, right? But apparently the trickiest thing was cutting a perfect circle out of parchment paper to make a cartouche.
A cartouche? What is that?
It's basically like a paper lid you put directly on simmering food, helps keep moisture in, prevents a skin forming. Cutting it perfectly round is surprisingly fiddly.
The little things you don't think about.
Exactly. And speaking of actors, Manny Matheson playing Neil Fack, that was kind of a last-minute thing, too.
Really? He's so perfect as Fack.
Yeah, Chris Storer apparently just asked him, like, hey, can you act? Matty admitted he struggled with memorizing lines, but he put in the work, practiced for hours, out of respect for everyone.
And why the handyman role?
Matty himself joked that he picked it because it was easy to act bad. But he also made a really good point about real kitchens. You need those levity people, he called them, morale boosters. Fake definitely brings that.
Oh, for sure. Essential chaos agent. And one last thing, it was almost a movie.
Yeah, believe it or not, originally conceived as a feature film. Hard to imagine cramming all that intensity and character development into 2 hours now, isn't it?
Totally. The series format really lets it breathe. So, okay, wrapping this all together. What does this deep dive tell us?
Well, I think it really shows how The Bear pulled off this incredibly intense, authentic, and just deeply moving picture of kitchen life. It wasn't accidental. It was meticulous planning, serious dedication from the actors going through that training, and some really smart, innovative production choices.
Yeah, you see that deep, deep respect for the craft, for the food world. But also, they weren't afraid to show the mess, the chaos, right?
Exactly. It's not romanticized. And underneath all that kitchen frenzy, it's about these really complex human relationships. Ambition, grief, pressure, legacy.
And family. The one you're born into and the one you kind of forge under fire, right? In that kitchen environment.
Precisely. It's a show that makes you think, really think, about more than just what tastes good. It's about the passion, the sacrifice, the sheer human effort behind it all.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of that intensity we see on screen, that bond, maybe reflects the experience of the cast and crew making it, building their own kind of family through that process.
That's a really interesting thought. You have to imagine there's some parallel there.
And that wraps our rush hour run through The Bear Season 1. Wow. If you enjoyed slicing through the real stories behind this kitchen drama, please follow Roll Credits.
Yeah.
And share it with your fellow foodie fans.
Yeah, definitely spread the word.
We'll be back soon with more behind-the-scenes stories, more movie magic, and maybe a few more burnt edges. Stay curious.